Hello, and welcome to the Azure Database for MySQL monthly live webinar of February 2025. I'm Neil Dsouza. I'm with the Azure Open Source RDBMS, which is Azure Database for MySQL, platform as a service at supporting in the supportability team of Microsoft. Today we have a special episode featuring two of our Azure Database for MySQL Insiders. Database expert Krishna Mamillapalli from Datavail and Mahmut Olcay Çelik from Momentum Labs. Stay till the end as I'll share about our contributor program on how you can be part of this event as well. So before we dive into the episode, I'd like to remind you that if you have missed any of our previous webinars, hop on over to the webinar playlist on our YouTube channel. Our handle is at Azure DB for MySQL. And today we are live on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitch. So if you have any questions or feedback during the webinar, or if you want to let us know what topics you'd like to have us cover in the future episodes, please leave a note in the live chat window, and we'll address those questions as we go, and we'll take your inputs as well. So to start with the agenda for today's Insider Special episode, first, we have a 7-point checklist to conquer MySQL major version upgrade challenges from Krishna. And next is the everything you need to know to quickly develop apps with Azure Database for MySQL on Azure from Mahmut. Finally, I'll walk you through the latest updates in Azure Database for MySQL and upcoming roadmap. So with that, now let's move on to the first session of the day, a candid conversation on major version upgrades, primarily focusing on MySQL 5.7 to 8.0. This is a good time to check back on this guidance now, as MySQL 5.7 reached DOL, and yet many still run their applications on it. Now, introducing our special guest, Krishna Mamillapalli, Director and Global Practice Leader at Datavail, and Azure Database for MySQL Insider, along with my colleague, Senior Product Manager with Azure Database for MySQL, Rahul Saha. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Neil.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I am Rahul Saha, and I'm part of MySQL Preem Group. And I'm glad to be part of this webinar where I have Krishna from Datavail. So I'll be discussing about upgrades in MySQL and its best practices with Krishna. So hello, Krishna. Welcome to our webinar.
Thanks, Neil. Hi, Rahul. Excited to be here.
Yeah. Okay. So it'll be more of an interactive session where I'll ask you a few questions and you can give your best of the answers, what you feel for thinking about the different customers, different environment. So, okay. To start with, can you please give us a brief introduction about yourself?
Sure. So, hi, everyone. This is Krishna again. I've been in the database industry for roughly over 20 plus years. And as you can see, I have extensive technical background in open source databases like MySQL and MariaDB. I lead the MySQL and MariaDB teams at Datavail. I've been with the company for around 18 years now. So, happy to be here.
Okay. Thank you, Krishna. Okay. To start with, our first question about the database upgrade in MySQL. So, thinking about it, how often should we perform major version upgrades in MySQL?
So before actually, we go back to the topic, right? I just want to quickly introduce about Datavail, right? Obviously we are in the industry for over 17 years, and we have global teams, operating in round the clock, with major headquarters in US and Canada, and global teams in India and Colombia, of course. And quick about our superpowers, right? We have database is our core. At the same time, we also have data management and application development on the enterprise application side. So this kind of covers our core technology and competencies. Right. Now coming back to your question, Rahul. Well, it's a typical question, right? If you talk about the pre 5.7 days, I would say it's probably every couple of years, because there's a major version release that happens every 2 years. But in 2023, I think MySQL changed and followed the path, of course, with everybody else, their release models, right, from LTS and innovation. As the name stands, LTS is obviously long-term support, right? So if you're not looking for, or if you're not one of those early adopters, but you want your systems to be steady and you want to make sure they're up to date with security patches and no vulnerabilities and all that stuff, then obviously LTS would be the better choice. On the other hand, innovation, if you are one of those early adopters and you want the exciting features, new functionalities to be implemented and available, then obviously innovation releases are the best ones. I believe the last year they have launched the LTS version, which is 8.4. And obviously ever since there are new innovation releases happening. The last one, I believe, is recently 9.2. They have announced it. And if again, that reminds, if you're looking for one of those cool AI and vector database support capabilities, you could choose the innovation release models.
Great to know that. So okay, so many versions get released and so many new things which comes up. So do you think it is mandatory, or do you suggest to upgrade each and every time when the new releases are comes up?
Well, I mean, I feel like, if you're in the early 5.7 days going back to, right, where you rely on the major version upgrades, right? And there were some concerns, especially with 5.7 as you upgrade with large enterprises, right? It's a challenge to keep up. And if you have many applications and there are many business owners and application teams involved, then it's a pain to keep up with that. But at the same time, right, if you want to innovate yourself, make sure we leverage all the new features, functionalities, then obviously you need to keep up and make better use of those functionalities available. But I would say, to answer your question shortly, right, the LTS version support, it goes a long way, right? I mean, by default, I think it gives you 5 years of support, premium support, and you have like additional 3 extended warranty, extended year support period, I would say. So I think it gives you a total of 8 years. But on the other hand, if you're looking for innovation releases, you could probably do that more often as well.
Got it. That's a great answer. Okay. So moving on, I mean, so while they upgrade, I mean, there are some key challenges which comes up every time. So what are the key challenges on a typically and which you typically encounters while upgrading from 5.7 to 8 in both on-premise and cloud environment?
I would say it's a loaded question, Rahul, because I mean, there are lots of things change, right? Even
Yeah.
from 5.7 to 8, as you mentioned, and even the fact that 8.0 to 8.4, there are lots of things got changed, starting from functionalities and security and optimization levels. So it's hard to choose, but at the same time, the way we start with and the way we have been doing since the last 3-4 years, especially with the announce of 5.7 end of life, right, is we start with a basic assessment. And that assessment typically involves reviewing the existing databases, right? How it's being leveraged, what are the features, functionalities being leveraged, and having discussions with the application owners and identifying the roadblocks and gotchas, and start from there. That's your go-to point, right? And work off of that list. And you work through that list, address all the concerns, issues. You have a clear upgrade path. And then, obviously, what features, functionalities are we leveraging? From my experience, I would say we do upgrade a lot of customers. But the challenges that we see is they're not fully leveraging all the new features, functionalities. As a matter of fact, right? The replicated variables, yes, that's great. But at the same time, making sure of the security features. I don't think a lot of customers are fully aware and they are using their database to the full potential, because a fully optimized, fine-tuned, and well-configured database goes a long way.
Okay, great. And so, do you want to share any customer success stories which you feel that while you were engaged with so many customers, do you feel anything which came up?
I would say there are several factors. Some of them were involved with major functionalities, right? Application dependencies. The drivers are not up to date, and even the authentication protocols are not up to date. And not to mention the optimization features, right? Especially if you're working on SaaS-based products or ISVs, you have those packaged offerings. And there's a lot of application dependency there, because sometimes you have the code inbuilt into the application, and you have a lot to refactor to make sure those are compatible with the latest version. And that's why having that compatibility check really helps at the beginning. And there are tools available, right? MySQL Shell is a great one, and some people use PT upgrades. And with the cloud, you have the report available with a single click of a button to start off.
Great. Okay. So coming back again, I mean, that was coming back to the customer success stories. I mean, during the upgrade scenario, I mean, do you want to share any customer success stories which happened during any upgrade?
Yeah, I would say several. If you're talking specific to Azure MySQL, right? We have several customers that we help them not just upgrade, but even migrate and modernize from both on-prem into Azure MySQL. And of course, the back in the early days, right, we had Azure MySQL single server, right? And then, of course, we have the latest flexible server concept. So we helped customer not only just migrate from on-prem, then modernize into Azure MySQL Flexible, and help them with the upgrade strategies. And even in fact, I would like to share the object conversion is one of the crucial part, because you have a lot of dependency there, and most people just simply do the upgrades but don't leverage the full functionalities of the multi-byte character sets, or even using the roles. And I would say the more advanced plugins and components that are available within MySQL, like password authentication, password complexity policies. I think those are some really cool features that would help with your organizational InfoSec policy guidelines.
Great. So that's a great story. We came to know the key challenges, we should do upgrade or not. So post that, what are the recommended action after someone completes an upgrade? So there should be some steps they should follow day one, because most of the customer, even I have seen that they don't do that. So what are your recommendation after they complete the upgrade?
Well, upgrade is just one piece of it, right? Again, if you truly want to leverage MySQL to your full potential, then leveraging those features and functionalities, like the advancements that happen with CT, like common table expression, window functions, and there are query optimizations that are enabled. And sometimes you need to refactor some of your the application and some of those database code to leverage those features and functionalities. Otherwise, simply doing the upgrade and not leveraging those, a lot of times what we see is people tend to come back and say, hey, we started noticing performance issues, especially after the upgrade. And the fact that you don't tune your queries properly and modify them to use the right indexes, because sometimes even the application has built-in optimizer hints that may not be optimal with the latest version that you have. And 8.4 also bundles with a lot of optimization features. So there's always a lot of testing involved at each level, and you make sure you keep working closely with the application team and to make sure you sign off on it at each level.
Awesome. Okay. So moving on to our next question. So with Azure Database for MariaDB on its path to retirement, so do you have any recommendation for moving the workloads to Azure Database for MySQL?
I think it's a great time, and it's a great opportunity to start looking into the options. Like there are better options available with now versions being end of life and products not being supported, right? The first choice, obviously, going back to reviewing what you currently have and what are the dependencies, working off of that list. Again, going through an upgrade approach and upgrade document analysis would certainly help you. So depending on your architecture, right, what type of upgrade is it in place or by side, and do we want to go with the blue-green deployment strategy? So there are several factors to consider. But at the same time, right, if you talk about options, obviously you can always have MariaDB on your compute instances. At the same time, obviously going to Azure MySQL Flexible is a good option. But again, you need to keep in mind the compatibility between the major versions, because even with MariaDB and MySQL, I would say there are lots of things that needs to be considered depending on specific version.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that was a great question and answer. Thank you, Krishna, for dive deep session on MySQL upgrade. I'm definitely sure it will help the MySQL community and lots of our customers. So thank you
Thank you.
again. We'll move to our next topic. Over to you, Neil.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Rahul and Krishna. Thank you, Krishna, for sharing your expertise and guidance with our viewers. That was an insightful heart-to-heart conversation on this topic, answering many questions. Thanks, Krishna and Rahul, for joining us today.
Thank you, Neil.
So now we move over to the next topic of the day. In our previous webinars, we've had a couple of sessions on how to develop apps with Azure Database for MySQL. Now let me introduce you our next special guest, Microsoft Data Platform MVP and a leader in databases community, who will share his outside-in perspective and all you need to know about developing an app with Azure Database for MySQL on the cloud. So whether you're new to the service or to Azure, this session is for you. Please welcome Azure Database for MySQL Insider and a founder of Momentum Labs, Olcay Çelik, and Azure Database for MySQL PM Shreya Raital for an insightful conversation on this topic.
Thanks so much, Neil. All right.
Thanks.
Hi, everybody. I'm Shreya Raital, and I'm here with our very special guest, Mahmut Olcay Çelik. Olcay, before we dive deep into today's topic itself, could you give us a brief introduction about yourself as well as your company? I know you're the founder of Momentum Datalabs, and I know you're doing a lot of cool things other than just running that company. So could you give us a brief introduction there?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much for having me in this lovely webinar. So as you already know, but for our special guest, my name is Mahmut Olcay, and I am the Microsoft Data Platform MVP with strong background in databases, cloud solutions, and also the business intelligence. So as you already said, I'm the founder of Momentum Datalabs, where we provide IT consultancy, training, and business intelligence solution. So also at Momentum Datalabs, we are delivering data solutions and by leveraging AI-driven analytics, cloud data platforms, and also scalable architectures. So we generally specialize in data strategy, governance, and modern cloud data engineering, and also the cloud native applications. So because we want to maximize the value of the data with seamless automation and optimization for our customers.
Awesome. That was a very modest introduction, to be honest, Olcay. Folks, Olcay is not just a Microsoft Data Platform MVP, but he is also an active member of the Azure Database for MySQL Insiders community, and he has developed a lot of content like technical videos and blogs in collaboration with us, and has also actually influenced our product roadmap as well. I would suggest folks do follow Olcay on LinkedIn. And also, if you want to take a look at the different video content, etc., that he develops, I'm also flagging the YouTube channel of his Momentum Datalabs right here for you to take a look.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah,
perfect. So now I think the next question is for you, Olcay. I've seen that you've done a lot of work primarily in the data analytics, integration, as well as the BI space. But what got you interested in Azure, in MySQL to start off with, and Azure Database for MySQL as well?
Yeah. First of all, my interest in MySQL came from working on many open source database solutions while helping businesses move from on-premises databases to cloud-native applications and architectures. And then, over time, I explored various OSS open source databases and then realized that MySQL remains my first choice, also the top choice for scalable web applications. Also, when Microsoft introduced Azure Database for MySQL, I saw an exciting opportunity to combine the flexibility of MySQL with Azure's enterprise-grade capability like high availability, security, and managed services. That's when I joined the Azure DB for MySQL Insiders program, where I gained early insights into the new features, best practices, and real-world applications of MySQL on Azure. Yeah,
perfect.
There are lots
Yeah.
of things, but yeah, these are my the things that why I join and get interested in MySQL and MySQL and Azure as well.
I love to see that love that you have for MySQL. But talking about Azure Database for MySQL, what would you say are your top favorite things in the service, Olcay?
Mhm. Well, there are many features I love about. My top three things I love about the Azure Database for MySQL is, first of all, as you already know, but Azure Database for MySQL offers built-in high availability and scaling. That including zone redundant, high availability, flexibility, scaling options. You know why this is important? Because this is a game changer for applications that require reliability without the hassle of any manual application setups. That's a really good feature, allowing many customers just to one click availability and scaling options. They can upgrade, spin up new resources with new features as well. So that's a really good options. The second thing is the intelligent performance optimizations features, such as query performance insights. Also for database administrators, there is really good feature like called slow query logs and also automatic indexing. So those are key things allow developers and database applications to optimize queries and improve application performance, without any hassle and effortlessly. And also, part of my job in the Momentum Datalabs, with seamless integration with Azure services, this makes it easy to connect MySQL to Azure functions, Azure services like Kubernetes service. So those are things like making those applications ideal for modern cloud native solutions. Also, I would say, for example, in a recent project, I worked on integrating Azure Database for MySQL with Azure Functions to build real-time analytics dashboards that require zero downtime scaling and automated backups as well. So I could say I could tell about many features, but those are my top favorite things that why I love about Azure MySQL.
Hey, firstly, I think given that you've been working with Azure Database for MySQL for just over a year now, I love how you have touched all the different areas, tried out new integrations as soon as they've come, and and folks, all just shared really good feedback as well for us for these services. But speaking in terms of coming from a developer background, the same things, right? I love how fully managed Azure Database for MySQL is, but my favorite part is always the app dev integration space. So coming to the topic of the day, right? I would love to know more about that, Olcay, from you. Can you share some pointers to our audience about developing applications with Azure Database for MySQL? It
Sure.
could be, what are the options out there? How easy is it? And what are the best practices that you would want to share? All right. Hey, can you see the screen, Olcay? Looks like your video is frozen, Olcay. Can you try from the other device? Just give us a minute or so, folks, for Olcay to join in, and we'll resume from there.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Just the connection dropped, I think. Yeah. Now everything is okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying in a person coming in the Power Apps, in a business intelligence background, that's what I'm now saying. People can easily build low-code applications that connect MySQL databases for workflow automation and businesses logic. So when people say about the app integrations, there are many options because Azure Functions also, that's a really new feature, Shreya, that team introduced. Azure Functions, where people enable serverless data processing with event-driven architecture, reducing infrastructure overhead as well. So these are really good options. Like people why choose Azure Database MySQL for app integrations, and also beyond just hosting the database, Azure provides an ecosystem of services to enhance and streamline MySQL database management, like DevOps. People can automate deploying, testing for continuous integration, continuous development for MySQL-powered applications. Also, monitoring optimizations, like people, get real-time insights into database performance and recommendations for cost-efficient and scaling applications. Also, the things why I love Microsoft is a Power BI and AI search. So leveraging MySQL data for enhanced analytics and dashboards and AI-driven insights. That's that why makes Azure MySQL is so special, to be honest.
Perfect. We'd love to see some demos for the pointers and best practices as well from you, Olcay.
Yeah, definitely. Just a moment. So I think now you can see Azure Resource Manager template designed to help you to deploy and manage high available, scalable Moodle applications. The MySQL team developed really good templates to deploy Moodle application without any hassle for just one click. You can now deploy Azure, also the Moodle application, very easily by just one clicking into the service. So as you already see, just a moment. Yeah, just a second. I'm changing the Azure. Okay. So again, and giving the full service now. So it is now if you have an Azure account, as you already see, if you have an Azure subscription, you can deploy Moodle easily without any problem. So once you deploy the Azure, a set of services has been deployed very easily and quickly. Once you install and spin up the resources, that was pre-configured options ranging from small development and testing environments to handling thousands of concurrent users. Once you choose what suits your needs, all configurations are fixed. Once you deploy the services, it came automatically. So just a moment, I'll show you in my screen now. When you click into the templates, it puts you in a custom deployment section where you can, once you put public SSH key, and then once you create a resource group, and then obviously once you choose your subscription, you can automatically create a Moodle application automatically. Once everything has been set, you can come up to your Azure, and then also if you want to go to your application, it is come within MySQL as well. Also, MySQL is a great choice for performance and scalability, and as I said, particularly deploying Moodle as a large number of concurrent users. This makes MySQL preferred options, to be honest. So if once everything is ready, if you want to open an application, that's very easy. All you need to do, just come to your load balancer. Once the service is up and running, you need to come to your front-end IP configuration. And also, this is the IP address that needs to be put into your web browser. So once you put into your web browser, it automatically sends you this automatically homepage where you can deploy, install courses, and also running your online LMS application with a high-end technology inside an Azure MySQL. So in less than 10 minutes, Shreya, you can focus on creating first-class learning experience without any problem.
Yeah, just like just one click from the to deploy the template, and then you've got all of these services, and you can start editing the LMS right away, right? So I love that. Can you share some pointers as well as to what else should we do? Keep in mind apart from these are some packaged applications like you showed, like WordPress, Moodle, Magento. I'm assuming they'll be pre-configured. But apart from that, what are some things to keep in mind when you're doing web app development? Specifically coming to Azure Database for MySQL itself?
Yeah. First of all, Shreya, choosing the right tier is essential. In your resource group, as you already see, a couple of resources already pre-configured and installed. The important thing is the core, the MySQL flexible server. So in your MySQL flexible server, choosing the right tier is very important and is essential, because Azure offers flexible server options from compute and storage. You can, in your resources, Azure provides scaling options. So you can easily, as you can see, adjust compute sizes from 1 vCore from 2 vCore to 96 vCores, from general purpose to business critical, running important operations. And also in all computer tiers, as you can see, you can choose compute processors as well, and you can choose high availability, and you can deploy compute size from until the 96 vCores. You can independently tune an instance to SQL sizes and also storage sizing from 2 to 20 gigabytes till 32 terabytes in business critical and 16 terabytes on other workloads. So these are really good options for customers if they want to run an LMS application on Azure without any problem. So that's the first tip that I would like to share to enterprises or small medium enterprises or companies who would like to try out learning management system in Azure. Also, the second thing is the server parameters. So those are the things that why I allow also the MySQL, because those are the things you can consider, and also customers who wants to run an LMS application or other applications, that's the parameters that developers and also database administrators that can tune in, changing by all the parameters. You can modify, you can select all parameters without any problem. For instance, so you can ensure that slow query log parameters is off. All you need to do is just type in the parameters that you would like to tune in, and then change it without any problem. So those are the things that people, also the database administrators, can change without any problem. Also, the second thing is, before I would like to talk about the high availability, in the left pane on the Azure MySQL menu, metrics. Metrics is things why customers love about the Azure MySQL. You can monitor, you can change the metric, you can also select aggregation, all the things. If you are running a really serious workload, you can use metrics app and then track important metrics on the go as well. And also for a company that business in critical can monitor all the important metrics. That's the first thing in terms of monitoring. Also, the second thing is, the workbooks. So the workbooks that is really important, because a main cause of slow application performance is inefficient in interaction in the connection between the database and the application. The query performance insights, enhanced metrics, you can run slow queries in Azure MySQL, and you can gain insights into your all really good information that comes within pre-configured and installed using Azure Database MySQL. Those are important things that people need to consider before running an application, model application on Azure MySQL. But thankfully, Azure MySQL and Microsoft offers these kind of good features to tune in, allow customers to change all those parameters without any hassle. So that is a important part. Also, one important thing is, as the community knows, that main cause of the slow application performance is inefficient, because MySQL application often suffer from the connection overhead. Many database applications know this very well, and because establishing new connection in MySQL is an expensive operation. So that's why those things need to be considered, to needs to be known. An important thing is the wait timeout. Thankfully, you can, by coming the server parameters, also, if a DBA or an application developer type in any parameters, you can tune in connection timeout and wait time parameters easily. So those are the things that pool connection will get terminated after the value of wait timeout is reached. So that's why I can definitely tell to customers and also the developers and the DBAs, I always recommend, please make sure, to increase the value of value timeout according to the workload to maintain the idle connection in the connection pool for your application running on Azure MySQL. So server configuration, Shreya, is really important because impact performance. But thankfully, Azure Database MySQL features good parameters, flow log query options, and also the CAN workloads and metrics are the good options that why people chooses Azure MySQL
Awesome.
in developing applications.
So to summarize, compute and storage, make sure that you're on the right service tier and scale up, scale down as and when required by carefully monitoring the metrics, workbooks, etc. And then you talked about server parameters for tuning the service, as well as you talked about connection pooling as well, right? So I love these tips, Olcay, and folks, while these are just few of the things that Olcay has shared today due to time constraints, there is a lot more you can learn from him by following him on LinkedIn or even from his YouTube channel, right? And another good thing is Olcay is going to be available and presenting on in the Microsoft Fabric Community Conference in Las Vegas in April. Olcay, do you want to talk a little bit about the session you will be taking? He's going to cover a little bit of MySQL there as well.
Yeah, I will be presenting in Vegas for developing intelligent applications using AI search and also the Azure functions for e-commerce customers. People would love to know about the feature. Artificial intelligence is a big step for customers and also the companies that they would like to feature in their websites to all the features into the capabilities in their applications. So I will be telling about the intelligent applications using Azure MySQL and also the Azure functions by leveraging Azure MySQL database to gain more and more intelligent applications using Azure. So I would love to people see there and also using many intelligent applications by leveraging Azure as well. So hopefully I will be delivering a really impactful session in Vegas in FabCon this year.
I'm sure you will be. I think AI is everywhere, and that's a hot topic. So thanks so much, Olcay. Folks, if you have not registered already, go ahead and register for the conference, and we'll see you in Vegas.
Okay.
But that's all we had from our side. Neil, back to you at this point.
Yeah, thank you, Olcay, and thank you, Shreya. Thank you, Olcay, for especially the explorative journey of MySQL with app integrations on Azure. And those were some of the innovative integration possibilities, super valuable to our customers. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Neil.
So moving on to our next section is the latest feature roadmap for Azure Database for MySQL Flexible Server. Here we have some of the features roadmap, starting with Virtual Canary. This feature is in public preview. You can opt your dev testing staging servers to be in Virtual Canary, where you'll receive monthly updates in advance to give you an opportunity to perform additional layer of testing before in your lower environments before you get into production, and also avoid issues specific to your workload. And application compatibility issues and the like. So efficient way to manage these updates, align dev testing, staging, and production to maintain better operational stability with reduced disruption. So we are planning to go GA on Q2 2025. Next feature is business critical servers zone resilient by default. So the business critical tier, now I'm glad to announce that any servers you create in business critical will have zone resiliency by default. So for your mission critical workload, while it provides you a 99.99% of uptime SLA with the built-in zone, hot standby and same zone HA and zone redundant HA, you'll also be able to recover quickly from zonal outages. Now you can enjoy the highest level of availability against any infrastructure failure in the availability zone at no additional cost for the business critical tier. And thanks to the relentless work from our engineering, we're excited to share it's now GA now. So the next feature is CMK enabled support for accelerated logs. So this feature went GA during the Microsoft build this year, giving you a 2x performance boost for your business critical servers at no additional cost. So far, it couldn't be enabled for servers that have customer managed keys enabled, basically the BYOK scenarios. I'm glad to update that now you can with this feature in GA. The next is MySQL discovery and assessment in Azure Migrate. With this integration of Azure Database for MySQL, you can discover MySQL servers in your IaaS or on-premise environments, assess them by identifying their capability for moving to Azure Database for MySQL, receive compute and storage SKU recommendations, along with the costing. Currently in private preview and soon to go public preview this current quarter, Q1 of 2025. So moving to the next feature is the unified migration experience with Azure DMS, the database migration service. A seamless experience for your MySQL workloads, whether on-premise or on a VM. A unified experience with DMS, which offers a centralized migration experience for both logical and physical migrations. Slated to be available in public preview Q1 2025. That's this quarter. The next feature is error logs in server logs, now in public preview. This feature provides you an option to view and download error logs from the server logs option up to 7 days to analyze and troubleshoot your MySQL engine issues and other issues as well. So it will be generally available in this quarter as well, which is Q1 2025. The next feature is Azure Database for MySQL bindings in Azure Functions, which is mentioned by Olcay in earlier session as well. So it is in public preview and going GA in few days, this Q1 2025. This will enable a native support for input bindings, output bindings, and function trigger for Azure Database for MySQL Flexible Server, basically a serverless application, serverless logics. What this means is you will be able to read data from a Azure Database for MySQL data into a function, save the data back to Azure MySQL database, or even trigger a function when a change is detected in Microsoft in the MySQL table. So please watch out for the update there. And next feature is near zero downtime maintenance for HA-enabled servers. So this is designed to reduce maintenance downtime for HA-enabled servers, ensuring that in most cases, maintenance downtime is between 40 to 60 seconds. It's crucial for critical businesses that cannot compromise on HA and require minimal interruptions in their database operations. This feature is currently in public preview, going GA in the Q2 of 2025. Moving to the next one is MySQL LTS version 8.4 support. It's the latest LTS release from the community and contains several improvements as described in the MySQL docs. And the other version is innovation release for MySQL 9.1 support. This introduces some new features like JSON handling, support for DDL commands in prepared statements, performance improvements, security enhancements, new performance schema tables, and vector and JavaScript support. So this is releasing in public preview next quarter, Q2 of 2025, for you to try out and all new exciting features. So that's about the roadmap. And if you have any questions, feel free to shoot. If you want to try out the features in private preview, you can write to us at Ask Azure DB for MySQL at service.microsoft.com. And we also publish monthly update blog containing all these updates about 2 days after the webinar. The latest update will be available at aka.ms MySQL monthly update. Folks, that's all for today. As we close out, I'll leave you with 4 things. Check out our contributor initiative. Start contributing today and get badges, official recognition, and more. Second, to learn more about our service, you can use these resources or feel free to reach out to us on our email address. Third is stay tuned for more updates and announcements by following us on social media, subscribing to our YouTube channel. Our handle on YouTube and Twitter is at Azure DB for MySQL. Basically at Azure DB MySQL. And finally, if you want to feature in our upcoming webinars or collaborate with us in any collateral, fill out this form and let us know. Also, you can use the same form for any feedback on the session, or if you have any requests or suggestions on the topics we should be covering in the upcoming sessions. So thank you all for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed this episode. See you all in our next session on the 12th of March at 7:30 a.m. Pacific time. Thank you for being with us till the end. See you again, and ciao from here.